There could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not returning.
According to a recent development, Caitlin may be reevaluating her choice to move to Europe. She had earlier said that she would take a break from basketball.
Has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that
Caitlin might be convinced to play in Europe given the hefty salary provided there.
She is already in Istanbul, where she will be playing for the offseason. And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season.
The icing on the cake would be if Caitlin decided that, in light of the NBA's mistreatment of her and the ensuing drop in their fan base, this was best for her career.
Going to load up against better competition, and she played an entire college basketball season, and she didn't play well. And I said at the time, she didn't deserve to be on the Olympic team. And at the time,
Caitlin has had an incredible season since then. After she repeatedly broke records in the middle, the WNBA is now calling for her return. The WNBA has seen a sharp decline in popularity after Caitlin left. Additionally, Caitlin's possible admission to the EuroLeague could mean the league's demise. Caitlin's Rookie of the Year was leaked on Twitter more than a week ago. Additionally, the WNBA has not yet released an official statement. The hostility is almost unbelievable. Caitlin was apparently given this amazing contract by Nike, but the company has cut her off and hasn't posted anything about her in months. Few people in the basketball world have gained as much notoriety as Caitlin Clark. She must therefore go as soon as possible. There is increasing speculation that Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's Rookie of the Year, would be lured to join the Women's EuroLeague despite her fame and achievements. Fans have been enthralled with Clark at every stage of the game. We'll discuss Caitlin's amazing career, the difficulties she's encountered in the WNBA, and the potential for a move abroad that would change her basketball legacy. A player like Clark, who has struggled in the WNBA, would find a new basketball culture and large salaries in Europe appealing. Could her already illustrious career take a new turn in Europe?
WNBA has been a mess this year. It has been so unprofessional, and they need to step it up, and they need to step it up quick. And they also need to, I don't know if an apology is warranted to Caitlin Clark, or they just need to, in general, do.
Caitlin Clark has undoubtedly had a big influence on the WNBA. She has become an essential broadcast personality and drawn new supporters to the league. The WNBA discovered a star with that special something that elevates the entire game, despite Caitlin Clark's obvious success. Not merely a talented athlete. The toughness of the WNBA has been one of the biggest challenges Caitlin Clark has faced. Caitlin has had to put up with constant bumping, pushing, and aggressive play from opponents who saw her as the greatest threat on the court. It's no secret that other teams regularly try to slow her down or annoy her in the hopes of winning. However, the fact that these players frequently seem to get away with utilizing extremely violent techniques due to inconsistent officiating or simply the pressure of being a celebrity irritates Caitlin and her followers even more. Many people think that Caitlin has been treated unfairly harshly. She becomes even more irate and begins to wonder if she is truly being protected as one of the greatest players in the league due to the frequent hits and uncalled fouls. The financial issue is another.
Victor Wembanyama, who was, an NBA star coming into the league, he just finished up his rookie season. He's going into his next. If you look at his rookie salary, which was around $55 million for 4 years, and then you look at Caitlin Clark's $300 and I think it was $38,000.
Caitlin must contend with the frustrating reality that her compensation does not account for her contribution to the WNBA salary, even though she works hard as the league's face and keeps putting on performances that alter the game. The European women's basketball leagues, particularly the EuroLeague, have expanded dramatically in the last several years. The athletes are paid more and treated like superstars. The atmosphere at arenas with passionate fans and intense rivalries is thrilling for a player like Caitlin Clark, and support for women's basketball in Europe often feels more fervent and widespread than in the WNBA. What started out as a simple trip to Europe to recover from a taxing WNBA season might develop into something more. The financial benefits and the respect and admiration that players in European leagues receive may entice someone who has occasionally felt undervalued in the WNBA.
Response of folks that don't think she is praised enough and she is above reproach in terms of criticism, or that praising another player is an affront to her, is like, whoa, bro. Like, also, like, you're in my mentions talking about women's basketball. I've never ever seen you before in my life.
As though Caitlin had originally planned to take a break from basketball, she has been open about her competitive nature and has said that she would likely become bored very fast if she didn't play. After all, Caitlin is a player driven by her love of the game and her insatiable thirst for victory. She must therefore be considering the possibility of playing basketball once more, this time in Europe, where she might be paid more and given the respect a celebrity of her magnitude deserves.
Caitlin Clark, it seems like this entire season, she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were.
Think about the headlines. Caitlin Clark signing with a prominent EuroLeague team would have an immediate impact on the European basketball scene, bringing fans to arenas from all across the continent to see her play. How about the WNBA? In addition to being a loss for her team, Caitlin's departure would be a catastrophic blow to the league as a whole. Ratings for Clark's EuroLeague games would skyrocket, and her signing would even attract sponsors and media attention that the local women's basketball scene had hitherto lacked. One of the league's biggest stars. Just Caitlin's name has attracted new admirers. Her capacity to create anticipation and boost viewership has been crucial to the league's growth. The WNBA would likely experience a significant decline in attendance without her.
One of the playoffs, the Fever had nearly 2 million viewers tuning in, while all the other games had around 400,000. Even the WNBA Countdown, which was aired before the Indiana Fever game, had more viewers than 2 of the seasons.
Losing a talented player like Caitlin Clark would be devastating because the league has never been able to achieve the same level of notoriety and media coverage as the NBA. Caitlin's presence unquestionably has a direct impact on merchandise revenue, ticket sales, and broadcast viewership. If she leaves for Europe, those numbers could drop significantly, forcing the WNBA to find a replacement for its best player.
If somebody that's come along, who, by the way, I'm going to go there, who happens to be white, and brought a level of attention and allure to the sport it had not received before. And what we were seeing from an abundance of folks appeared to be.
Caitlin Clark's potential relocation to Europe should be a major wake-up call for the WNBA. It must start treating its finest player better if it hopes to keep her. But money isn't the only issue here. Undoubtedly, financial compensation has a significant impact. Above all, it's about respect and creating an atmosphere where elite players like Caitlin feel really appreciated for their extraordinary skill on the court, as well as the excitement, attention, and money they bring to the league. Even though Caitlin has consistently demonstrated that she can handle the pressure, roughness, and attention that come with being a WNBA star, a player can only take so much mistreatment or undervaluation before they start to explore for other opportunities. Alternatives Europe is an alluring opportunity for someone like Caitlin to be paid more fairly, treated with the respect she deserves, and cherished by a new ardent fan base, even though WNBA fans will move on and follow her wherever she goes.
Exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out.
Caitlin Clark's potential relocation to Europe should be a major wake-up call for the WNBA. It must start treating its finest player better if it hopes to keep her. But money isn't the only issue here. Undoubtedly, financial compensation has a significant impact. Above all, it's about respect and creating an atmosphere where elite players like Caitlin feel really appreciated for their extraordinary skill on the court, as well as the excitement, attention, and money they bring to the league. Even though Caitlin has consistently demonstrated that she can handle the pressure, roughness, and attention that come with being a WNBA star, a player can only take so much mistreatment or undervaluation before they start to explore for other opportunities. Alternatives Europe is an alluring opportunity for someone like Caitlin to be paid more fairly, treated with the respect she deserves, and cherished by a new ardent fan base, even though WNBA fans will move on and follow her wherever she goes.
We thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again, and playing at a much higher level than they should be at this stage and age. Was I ever entertained?
Although the WNBA is growing, it still lacks the financial and cultural awareness of its male counterpart, the NBA. The league must prioritize enhancing the fan experience if it hopes to retain outstanding players like Caitlin and maybe others. In a league where its stars are regarded as revolutionary figures, the departure of one prominent player may set off a bigger movement in which an increasing number of players seek better pay, treatment, and overall experiences in leagues outside of the United States. If Caitlin Clark chooses to move across the pond to play in the EuroLeague, it might set off a domino effect that makes other top WNBA players wonder if Europe would be a better fit for their careers. The lure of higher compensation, a supportive environment, and ardent fan groups may be too much for many athletes to refuse, especially if they see one of the NBA's best players make that decision. For the WNBA, this presents a serious issue. How can they maintain Caitlin Clark's satisfaction while keeping her and other players in her position from being enticed to sign with Europe's wealthy and prominent leagues?
Single time that they were on the road. You even had Dallas Wings players saying, like, it kind of sucks seeing so many Indiana Fever and 2020 or 22 jerseys in the stands, but it's also cool to see a lot of people in the stands. Like, Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games, and so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating.
Losing Caitlin Clark would be more detrimental to the WNBA overall than simply losing a good player. She is a player who draws attention, wins over new supporters, and contributes to the expansion of the league. The WNBA faces the risk of stagnation and a potential talent migration to Europe without her. If the league hopes to retain its top players and continue growing, it must take aggressive steps to meet the needs of its biggest stars. Caitlin Clark's potential transfer to the Women's Euro Basketball League is more important than where she chooses to play basketball next. League is a mirror of the more significant issues that women's basketball encounters on a worldwide scale. Players of her quality should be compensated correctly and treated with respect as they provide excitement, skill, and substantial value to the game.